Underneath the bright sunshine here from Estadio Alfredo Harp Helu, it's the 2026 Baseball Champions League action from the heart of Mexico City. Hello, everybody. Trevor Curl alongside with Colin Rudisell. And Colin, we've got another good one tonight. Or really this afternoon, really. The Kane County Cougars taking on the Crocodilos de las Matanzas, going at it here in day 4 action.
Yeah, it's definitely a big game, and this is where the tournament really starts to get fun, right? We're in the home stretch at this point. Every game feels like it matters a little bit much. You got the Cougars sitting at 2-0 right now. You look at this Crocodiles team sitting at 1-1. It's a must-win for them and a big opportunity for the Cougars, too, to just control their destiny.
Yeah, we take a look at the standings here from Estadio Alfredo Harp Helu. The Kane County Cougars come into this one as the only team at 2-0. Dantos at 2-1, and this Crocodiles Ball Club being at 1-1, along with Mexico and the brothers 0-3. They're just playing spoiler right now. But this is where things get interesting in this tournament, as you mentioned. It's no longer really win and in for Kane County because of the Dantos win over the Crocodiles last night. Kane County can win and give themselves the best chance to make their way into Sunday, but that doesn't mean they're in. At least it controls their destiny, though.
Yeah, and there's so many different scenarios that can play out based on how this game goes today and the Diablos game tonight. I mean, if they need to win to just control their own destiny and put themselves back in the mix as well. But there's a potential 4-team race going into this day and the last day tomorrow to find out who these top 2 teams are going to be.
Yeah, no kidding. And Kane County has shown that they are one of the best teams in this tournament already, beating the host ball club in Diablos under the lights in day 1. But that also means that now there's a target on their back. Teams know who they are. Their offense has shown up in a big way over the last couple of days. It was yesterday morning against the brothers. The Kane County Cougars put up 10 runs in the first inning. They're able to coast their way through the finish line. But the thing is with Kane County right now, their pitching staff, it starts from them. And it starts from Brandon Komar, who's making his first ever appearance in a Kane County uniform after some time in the St. Louis Cardinals organization. But George Samus needs Komar to at least get 3 innings under his belt to preserve some of the pitching staff that's been pretty taxed over the course of the first couple of days.
Yeah, you said it. It's been very taxing. They have really gone into the bullpen in both of these games that they played in this BCL tournament. And the thing is, they do need Komar to go deep in it. But as long as that offense continues to roll, that has been the name of the game in this tournament so far. And I think it's nice to see for the Cougars that what happened with Dantos and how they were able to control this Cuban team last night, only allowing 6 runs. So that should be something as a high point. But this is a desperate Cuban team. They need to have this win to stay in this tournament and give themselves a real chance of going into Sunday.
The Cubans had 13 pitchers throw over the combined last couple of games. It was 7 pitchers in game 1, 6 pitchers in game 2. So the way things are going, it's going to be another offensive slugfest this morning. It's the Kane County Cougars and the Crocodiles coming up next on AA Baseball TV. Good afternoon from Estadio Alfredo Harp Helu. The Cubans taking on the Kane County Cougars. The first pitch from Ronder Gabara is taken for strike one, and we are underway at 12:05. Gorgeous afternoon for baseball. No morning time with the Diablos Rojos del Mexico and the Brothers playing in the nightcap. Fastball misses outside for a ball to even things up at 1-1. 23-year-old right-hander has been with the Cubans for the last few seasons, currently pitching in the Cazadores de Artizima. Through the backstop, it goes for 2-1. But playing here for the Crocodiles in the 2026 Baseball Champions League tournament. International prospect has found some looks from the Japanese along with major leagues. It was in 2023. He was close to signing with the Chicago Cubs, but ultimately it would be a shoulder injury that would hold up the deal from becoming a thing. And Gabara, he's got some good stuff with him. He's got a four-seam fastball that has touched up to 97 miles an hour. He'll also throw a lot of sliders and a splitter, but we'll see how that works here in the high elevation of Mexico City. We have seen a lot so far, Colin, that the sliders and a lot of off-speed pitches just haven't exactly been breaking the same way that a lot of these pitchers are used to when they're pitching back in their home stadiums.
Yeah, it's definitely been one of the storylines so far in this tournament. And Guevara, not necessarily a guy that will run up strikeouts anyway, as we're seeing a little bit of maybe an injury or something with the eye of Andres Perez.
And never a good sign when the first couple of pitches of the ball game when we're holding things up. And as we mentioned, it is a little bit of a cooker here in this afternoon's game. Almost all of our morning games have been starting at around 10 o'clock or so, and the temperatures have been under a relatively cool umbrella at least, but from here on out, at least today, it's going to be a little bit of a scorcher at 70 degrees for first pitch.
Yeah, I think it's the warmest morning we've had so far in this BCL.
Yeah, the sunshine is certainly hitting down on the field, and that turf that is down on the field, it is hot. We were talking with Keith McConkey, who's our home plate umpire, prior to leaving for the ballpark, and he says when he's out at second base or one of the field umpire crews, it is hot. They have that hot air just blowing pretty much directly up from the ground below you. And so at least when you're on the dirt, it kind of cools off a little bit, but that turf is going to be cooking, and that's what you're also going to notice as well with the players on the third base and first base sides. This couple of innings are going to be scorching in those dugouts. So we're back at action, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Elvis Peralta, who lines it deep out to right field. A couple of steps back, Videx still ranging back, reaches out and makes the catch in front of the warning track. Taking away extra bases, and there's the first out of the inning, and it's a loud one after Elvis Peralta puts a charge into right center.
Elvis Peralta looked really good for the Cougars in his debut in the last game. 4 hits at 5 at-bats, and he put a good charge into this one. Vide was sticking with it. There's just a smidge of wind going right to left, but I think just running over the shoulder and the way that ball was moving, he did a nice job throwing out the glove and making that play.
Armand Upshaw now steps in, 1 for 6 in the tournament so far with a couple of runs batted in. Takes the first pitch strike. And we talked about it briefly in the open. This isn't a win and you're in situation for Kane County, but it certainly helps you sending to your Saturday game at 3-0 if that's the case. We were talking about it in the pregame how there could be a monkey wrench thrown in with Dantos beating this Crocodiles ball club yesterday evening. If it was a Crocodiles win, Kane County would then be sitting in the driver's seat right now with a win today. That could have possibly sent them to Sunday's championship, with tomorrow's game being just kind of a tune-up game. But from here on out, these games still matter.
It's fun when you get to this point where it really is every single game and really every single run, just the way some of these tiebreakers work out in the BCL. How much it really does matter.
Keith McConkey, our home plate umpire. Carlos Leon at first base. David Solis at second, and Julio Molina, he's at third. That's your umpire assignments here in Game 1. No balls, 2 strikes to Armand Upshaw. 1 out. Still no score here. We're just getting started. Takes downstairs for a ball. The defense for the Crocodiles, Esteban Terry in left, Eduardo Blanco in center, Ayenlo Videx in right. Around the horn of the infield, Luis Sanchez, Luis Mateo, Julieski Ramon. 1-2's fouled off. Jose Noronha at first, and André Perez behind home plate. He's doing the catching.
It looked like a contact issue with Andres Perez. Just the way they were kind of dumping
A 1-2 swung on and missed for strike 3. First 2 batters retired for Kane County's offense, 2 away, and that sets the table up for Dylan Thomas with nobody on and 2 out.
It's a good pitch here, just rising fastball that got Armand Upshaw swinging. It just looked like the coaching staff was pouring some water on his hand, something, and then kind of helping him put the contact back in his eye. So good news, it doesn't seem like it's an injury.
Oh, the dry air will certainly cause a lot of extra elements to be put into play. You can feel your skin feeling a little bit drier every morning when you wake up. Same thing after you get back from the ballpark. All that dust, all that turf, all that sand, etc. really dries you out, and these players have been hydrating pretty much from the moment they got back from the ballpark yesterday after their morning game. That's a bit of a scorcher here this afternoon. The 1-0. Big rip from Thomas. He comes up empty to even things up at 1-1.
See that velocity from Guevara getting into those mid-90s. He's looking pretty sharp here against a really strong Cougars offense. Again, they put up 10 runs against the Brothers in the first inning just yesterday.
The 1-1. Another big swing. Thomas comes up empty. It's now 1-2. There's 9 batters sent up by the Cougars in the bottom half of inning number 1 before they recorded their first out. A little bit different story here with a much sharper pitching side from this Cuban ball club. But then again, 13 combined pitchers used in games 1 and 2. The 1-2 now. Bounces in the dirt for a ball to even things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It was a pretty decent start last night for Raymond Figueredo. He went 3 innings, only gave up 1 run, but then was a huge 4th inning. And it really made the Cubans have to dip into their bullpen.
Guevara's 2-2. Slapped on the ground to third. Charging in Sanchez. Has it cleaned. Throw it on the run to first, and the inning is over. 1-2-3, go the Cougars. We're off to the bottom half of the first inning. No score with the Crocodiles coming up on BCL AA Baseball TV. Top of the second inning from Mexico City. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Cougars. Todd Lott, Jabari Henry, and Max Murphy due up against Brander Gabara, who had a quick 1-2-3 frame in the top half of the first inning. 3 quick outs, including a strikeout mixed in between. Sets up Todd Lott, who is 1 for 5 in his only game of action against the Diablos. Hit a home run. First pitch, fastball misses off the plate outside, and this is some of the best velocity we've seen so far from a starting pitcher. First pitch from Gabara was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that just missed off that outer black. Back up the middle, kicks off of Gabara, and Todd Lott will get his way over to first base. He's there safely. A ball that immediately comes back and bites the starting pitcher. We might see the training staff come out. That ball was a bouncer right back to the mound. It looks like it hit the wrist of Gabara. We take another look.
Yeah, bounced off the ground one time, but still off the bat so hard. And really a nice attempt by Mateo to try to get some sort of play over there at Lott. He almost threw him out. And it looks like Guevara is waving off the training staff. He's ready to go.
It just looks like it hit his forearm. And we've seen a couple of comebackers do some damage. We saw that in game 1 between the brothers and the Dantos. Somehow we saw Hui Shane Lin come back into the tournament. He looked pretty sharp as well. So the first hit of the ball game is a Todd Lott single. I'll bring up Jabari Henry. And he takes upstairs to open things up in his first plate appearance here this afternoon. It was 1 for 2 day for Jabari, but it was a lot of plate appearances that resulted in walks, hit by a pitch to get his 1 single, and it brought in a run. 1-0, let's take it for a strike.
On the American Association, if you ever had a middle part of the lineup that featured Todd Lott followed by Jabari Henry, it'd be a scary sight. And that's what we get to see here in the BCL. It makes it so special.
Well, no kidding about that. No Josh Raywald, he's getting the off day, along with Josh Allen. So both Joshes getting a chance to get off their feet. Josh Allen so far been the tournament MVP, at least for Kane County. He has been on an absolute tear so far. But it's good to get a guy like Elvis Peralta back in the lineup, who had a solid day yesterday, going 4 for 5. Here's the 2-1. Big rip from Jabari, comes up empty. But Dylan Thomas, a feature in the starting lineup once again, 4 for 8 so far in the tournament, now 4 for 9 after his ground out. But you're looking at this middle of the order that features Thomas, Lott, Henry, Murphy, and even going down to Fernandez in the 7 spot. That is a lot of contact-oriented power as well. 2-2, and Jabari Henry goes down on strikes. Now set up Max Murphy with a man aboard.
Switched it up on them with a slider at 83 miles an hour. He's been trying to just overpower him with the fastball, but sneaks this one in on the high edge, and Jabari goes chasing.
So Max Murphy, 5 for 10 so far in the tournament, including a double and a couple of home runs. 6 runs batted in. First pitch slider breaks off the outside. A tied for the RBI leaders on this Kane County Cougars ball club, Josh Allen and Max Murphy, both with 6. 1-0, bash back up the middle. It's going to skip its way on through into center field. First to second goes Todd Lott. Max Murphy with his 6th hit of the tournament. Runners at first and second, 1 away for Juan Fernandez.
Well, if it wasn't for Josh Allen, I think this is probably the MVP on this Cougars team. Max Murphy, not only has he been getting it done at the dish, he's been playing a really nice right field as well, getting outfield cut downs, and getting guys just like pausing up as well when they're trying to round third and head to home. A lot of temptation to go, and the coach is throwing up the stop sign because they know Murphy's been showing off the cannon.
Well, after a quick 1-2-3 top of the first inning, the Cougars have recorded a couple of base hits to kick things off here in the top of the second. First pitch to Juan Fernandez. He takes outside for ball 1. Fernandez, 2 for 6 in that opener against the Diablos Rojos, including 1 RBI. He was also a fixture on the base pass. He was someone who was consistently on with walks and singles. The 1-0. Takes down low. And what makes Fernandez so dangerous at the plate is he's someone who does not chase. He is not a big strikeout threat in the batter's box. He is so good about being contact-oriented and finding holes all across the infield. 2-0. Slaps it fouled on the first base side, now 2-1.
That's valuable to have, especially with a lineup like this we've seen from the Cougars that have so much power all over the place. If you get more ducks on the pond when those big swings come, obviously the runs start to rack themselves up.
Multiple catchers on this Kane County Cougars roster. Fernandez getting the off day in yesterday's game. Jax Groshans was behind the plate. 2-1, spits it down low, and it's now hitters friendly, 3-1. With Claudio Final sitting on deck, he has done his damage so far in the bottom third of the order for Kane County. And this is not your average 1 through 9. All-stars litter this roster. 3-1. Down low, ball 4. Juan Fernandez draws a walk. And the Cougars load the bases up here in the top of the second inning to bring up Claudio Final, whose grand slam made the difference for the Cougars in Game 5 of the Wolf Cup Final and allowed them to repeat as coming down here, the representatives of the American Association.
He was the MVP in that Wolf Cup Final and well-deserved. He's also the leader in this tournament for this Cougars team in batting average at .600, and he's already popped a long ball in that first game.
6 for 10 so far in his first couple of games. The first pitch to Final. Takes downstairs, ball 1. So after a solid first inning for Guevara, he is in a bit of a pickle here. Bases loaded, just 1 out. Todd Lott at third. Max Murphy at second, and Juan Fernandez behind him at first. Nowhere to put Final. The 1-0. Pops him up, first base side. Foul territory, slicing out of play. And it's now 1-1.
That ball just disappeared. It never came back down. I don't know if the Raptors got it.
Well, it looks like it did come back down. The ball got thrown back to one of the ball boys down the right field line. But it's interesting. That ball goes above the rafters and into the shade, and we lose sight of it ourselves. So we really have to focus on where the fielders are running and to give us somewhat of an idea of where that baseball ends up. The 1-1. Ground ball over to shortstop. Mateo flips to Ramon for 1. Back to first. Final beats it. He's safe. For the moment, a run comes in to score Todd Lott. At the moment, it's 1-0 Kane County. We might hold things up for a possible challenge. Waiting to see what that first base dugout is going to do. Final beating it down that first base side. And it looks like we are going to have a challenge.
I think it's probably worth it for this Cuban team to see it again. I mean, the difference between a run and getting out of the inning.
It's bang, bang, and they are going to indeed call for a challenge. So we'll get the headsets on with our home plate umpire, Keith McConkey, and our first base umpire, Carlos Leon. And it is a big play to start off the top of the second inning. You'd think you get that ground ball double play. We take another look here. And it looks like the initial call was the right one, but that was just the first replay look we got. Here's the other one.
Yeah, it looks like he sneaks in there, and Carlos Leon all over it, making the correct call seemingly. And again, it was called safe on the field, so it needs to be clear and obvious evidence to overturn it.
That's going to be clear and obvious. It looks like the ball has not appeared in the glove by the time Final's foot is on the pillow. Headsets come off. And the call, it stays put. It's confirmed. So fielder's choice RBI by Claudio Final, 1-0 in favor of Kane County, and they're still in business. Runners at first and third. Sam Dexter now comes in. Third RBI of the tournament for Final. Juan Fernandez cut down at second base. Max Murphy pushes up to third. A step off from Guevara, so we just wait one moment. After a sharp first inning from the Cuban starter, Zoll's only given up just a run, but Kane County's looking to turn the lineup card back to the top. First pitch, check swing, called strike 1 anyways on Sam Dexter. 0 for 3, does have an RBI though on the tournament.
He scored a run too. It was a pretty productive 0 for 3 in that first game for the Cougars.
Guy who is here for his glove at shortstop. Squares around, drops a beauty down the third base line, but it rolls foul. Now no balls and 2 strikes. And what makes Sam Dexter so important of this lineup for Kane County is even if he's not in the game, if he is sitting on the bench and say it is Elvis Peralta and Josh Allen up the middle, Sam Dexter's utility can put him anywhere in the infield you want, and you can say the same a lot about this Kane County roster, is that infielders can go pretty much anywhere, especially with Todd Lott playing first base today. You have Josh Raywald still sitting on the bench, so there's multiple opportunities to swap out defensive replacements, especially when you get into games that really do matter, like the one that is this afternoon and we'll see tomorrow morning. The 0-2 skips away from the catcher Perez. Coming across the score, Max Murphy. Up to second will go Claudio Final, 2-0 Cougars.
Well, that was a gift. 2 outs in the inning and 2 strikes on Sam Dexter. And Guevara just spikes this one into the ground. No chance for Perez. And another run comes across.
I'll go down as a wild pitch. Now another runner back in scoring position. Final moving up 90 feet.
This is the kind of thing you can't have if you're the Crocodiles with this offense that the Cougars have been producing in the tournament.
We have seen so many times Kane County taking advantage of free runners on errors and walks. 1-2 falls off the table. The former captain of the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks got his American Association tenure started in Milwaukee, which is where he will return when we get the season going in May. The 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Guevara gets his third strikeout of the game, but the Cougars strike first. 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. First pitch taken for a strike on Yasiel Gonzalez. Brandon Comar back out to work after a quick 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the first. And the Cougars giving him 2 runs of support as well. Now quickly ahead, 0-2 on Yasiel Gonzalez, who's 4 for 7 so far in the tournament. 571 average, a double, and 2 runs batted in. His 0-2. Fastball taken outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
If you're wondering what the loud noises are over the mic, the Formula One cars warming up on the track here in Mexico City. It's pretty cool to see that coming in today.
Certainly makes for an exciting trip to the ballpark. Slapped foul. And we're walking on in, and you can just hear them just roaring along through. And luckily here inside of Estadio Alfredo Harp, Helu, there's so many lookout points, whether it's inside the stadium or it's on the outside where you're not seeing the field of play, but you're going back around to check out the tracks, and you can see those cars zipping on through. 1-2, bounced in the hole at shortstop. Up with the ball, Sam Dexter across the diamond for the first out. And what are we thinking? They're time trials maybe that they could be possibly doing? I mean, not that we would know really anything that's going on about it, but the way they're at least driving, they are doing some sort of a practice run. There's not really a whole lot of personnel out there as well, so it's nothing super crazy going on, but it's fun to see when you have baseball going on here in the ballpark and then Formula One driving around the track beyond the sporting goods place. A base hit back up the middle off the bat of Jose Noronha. First hit of the day for the Crocodiles, a man on with one away.
It doesn't look like F1 comes here until October this year.
So it could just be some fine-tuning work here to close up the week.
Maybe it's a part of the team or somebody in Mexico just kind of, as you said, fine-tuning the car, getting ready to travel.
So Andres Perez, 3 for 8 so far in the tournament, 1 run batted in. First pitch, fastball, missing outside. So what we've seen from this Cuban ball club is they can get the bats rolling. Their offense does have some high power with them, but they were quiet yesterday after a 5-run top of the 4th inning. They weren't able to do anything against the Dantos, and the next thing they know, they start out 1-0 after a thrilling walk-off victory against the Brothers. Now they're at an even 1-1, and it feels like their tournament hangs in the balance today. A win sets them up well, but a loss, you might see the Cubans pumping the brakes on their 2026 Baseball Champions League ambitions. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball northbound gets the cut through. Komar looking in pretty good shape so far. The fastball not overpowering with the heat as we talked about earlier, but the breaking stuff has worked out so far through the first inning and a thirds. He's getting a ton of weak contact on the ground, especially to his middle infielders, and that will play well here. His 1-2, there goes the runner Noronha, taken for a ball. A little bobble at home plate from Fernandez, a stolen base for Noronha. The runner in scoring position wipes away the routine double play ball.
Yeah, ball just popped out of the hand here of Fernandez right on the transfer. Noronha got a really nice jump, though, too. Probably would have been a close play regardless. And a good job by Noronha to put himself in scoring position now and try to cut into this lead.
Something we have not seen a lot of in this 2026 Baseball Champions League is the stolen bases. The 2-2 swung on and missed for strike 3. First strikeout for Komar, 2 away. I'll bring up Haniel Videx.
Some good bite on that one right there, just snapping away from Perez. First strikeout of the game now for Komar.
Pitch in the Puerto Rican Winter League with the Senadores de San Juan. So he's still feeling fresh after the winter. First pitch to Videx, he takes a strike. Over the course of the 2025 season with the Cincinnati Reds organization, it was split between Class AA Chattanooga and Class AAA Louisville. 28 games, only 5 starts. 81 and a thirds innings of work, 68 strikeouts, only 29 walks. So he is going to be in control of the strike zone. A swing and a miss now, no balls and 2 strikes.
Swung right out of his helmet.
2-0 in favor of Kane County here in the bottom half of inning number 2.
Yeah, Bidet was trying to even it up right there. That was a huge swing.
Komar fires. Taken down low. Cougars in their baby blue tops, gray trousers. The Crocodiles, home whites. Red sleeves along with some red pinstripes on the tops. The 1-2. Wipes them out with the slider. A swing and a miss for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Komar. And that's how we wrap up the bottom of the second. Still 2-0 Cougars as we head to the third. Top of the third inning, 2-0 Kane County here on a gorgeous Friday afternoon for baseball. Almost headed to the weekend. And Colin, we're looking at some fun weekend action here as we get close to possibly finding out who our two finalists will be on Sunday afternoon.
There's a lot of implications on this game, especially for the Cuban team, that can make this very interesting, where if they're able to find a win here against the Cougars and the Diablos win tonight, all of a sudden we're looking at 4 teams sitting at 2-1 going into the final day.
First pitch to Elvis Peralta. He takes a strike outside. Lined out to the right fielder. Videx his first time up, over 1 so far on the afternoon. After a solid day yesterday, back in the starting lineup as the leadoff hitter. Swings and fouls it to our left. No balls and 2 strikes behind.
And that would make for one of the more entertaining Saturdays, where you have 4 2-1 teams all facing off, making it literally winning in both games and making them so important, almost like a quasi playoff to get into the championship game.
Well, you would imagine that you got Kane County, who was looking at last night's game, realizing that they absolutely have to win today in order to set them up for the weekend. The 0-2 bounces in. And then the same thing with Diablos. They were watching yesterday's game. They had their off day. They saw what was going on between Dantos and this Crocodiles ball club. And again, it sets them up going into the weekend with the Cubans having already their off day played. They need to win out. The 1-2. Jackknives Peralta out of the way.
Well, I know you and I both were impressed from what we were seeing from the Dantos yesterday. I mean, they ran up the score on offense, but the pitching was the best we have seen all tournament, specifically Jorge Bucardo, who I'm sure we will be seeing coming out of the bullpen more in this tournament.
The 2-2. A 58-foot fastball spiked in the dirt, and Peralta has worked to count from 0-2 to now full 3-2. Blazing speed at the top of this Kane County lineup card, followed by Armand Upshaw. Three-two. And that hits off of this back left shoe of Peralta. Would have been ball 4 anyways. Instead, though, it's a painful way to earn your first base of the day. That's that back foot breaking ball, quite literally a back foot breaking ball.
Yeah, and that would have been ball 4 anyway. Just so unfortunate when you have to take one for the team like that. And luckily, it looks like Elvis Peralta being able to just kind of walk this one off. He is getting kind of the precautionary look here.
It's never a fun feeling, especially if you are a speed guy like Peralta is. I mean, his speed is a huge part of his game. We saw that last year with the Gary South Shore Railcats, someone who consistently is on base and swiping them. 31 stolen bases last season, only 11 caught stealings. So he's going to certainly take his time making his way down to first base. And again, though, it's a leadoff hit by a pitch, leadoff walk, however you want to call it. It is a free base runner, and this is where Kane County did all of their damage, especially against the Brothers back in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, they have been taking advantage of it, and it's good after George Samus, trainer Scott Ellis, giving Peralta the okay, and hopefully feeling good after that long walk over to first.
Well, the first 3 walks in the bottom of the first inning came around to score. Upshaw squares, pulls back, and takes ball 1 low and outside.
It's a good idea by Upshaw. Sanchez playing a little bit back at third, and it's been a bit rough for Armand so far. 143 at the plate, just 1 hit in this tournament.
Cornerstone of the lineup for Kane County. Fastball just nicks the outer black for a strike. 92 games last season for Kane County Cougars center fielder. 3 seasons in Kane County as well for Upshaw. Bounces in the dirt.
Yeah, it was interesting when I started with the Cougars. Armand Upshaw was a left-handed hitter, and just something that the lineup was calling for at the time. And then he's flipped back over to the right side, says he gets more power over there than he does from the left.
Well, some guys just have the ability to be that athletic. It doesn't matter what side of the plate they're on. Just a little bit of time maybe switch hitting for Upshaw over the course of his time growing up. And some guys are just, they find their contact side from one side of the plate, and then on the other side, the power is there. 3-1, bounces in the dirt for ball 4. Back-to-back free passes, and this is not the part of the lineup card you want to see coming up with men on base. Dylan Thomas will step in.
Yeah, it's exactly how this lineup is designed. You have speed all over now with Elvis Peralta at second, Armand Upshaw at first. Dylan Thomas, who has just been the glue so far, being able to reach base in a variety of different ways with this patient approach, and then absolute power after that with Lott, Henry, and Murphy.
Now we'll see a mound visit coming in after the leadoff hit by a pitch and a walk. And such a difference going back to the top of the first inning. A quick 1-2-3 inning from Gabara. And then it was a little bit of a taxing second. The leadoff single by Todd Lott, following up by the Max Murphy base hit, the walk from Juan Fernandez, then the Claudio Final RBI fielder's choice. The eventual wild pitch to bring home Max Murphy would make it 2-0. But the first two men to reach, and then the table has been set for Dylan Thomas. He ground out to the third baseman Sanchez his first time up. Especially now at a point of the tournament where every single run matters. Speed is aboard with Peralta and Upshaw. The first pitch. And Thomas takes all the way. It's a strike on the outer half of the plate. The 0-1. Thomas lines it up the middle. Stopped by the second baseman Ramon. Flips to short for one Mateo. Back to first in time. A 4-6-3 double play that sent Yulieski Ramon onto his wallet. Was able to knock it down and stay with it enough to get the scorching double play.
Yeah, and way to stick with it, too, for Ramon. I mean, just able to, despite getting knocked down, flip it back over in time to Mateo, who makes a great throw over to first, and that is just what this Cuban team needed.
Now Rafael Perdomo starting to get loose in the bullpen for the Crocodiles. Might have caught a break after that double play ball. Here's Todd Lott. He singled his last time up and would eventually come around to score. We have seen a lot of second basemen either seeing that ball kick off them or get on by him. First pitch buried in the dirt. Good stop by Perez to keep Peralta stationed at third. He still looks like he might be feeling it a little bit from that last hit by a pitch. He's grabbing his shoe top.
It's a tough place to get hit, just right on the inside of the foot. It's a tender area, and as hard as we've been seeing Guevara throw the ball, it can't feel good.
The only fortunate aspect was it was a breaking ball. That doesn't make it any better, but it wasn't the fastest velocity we've seen.
It's true.
And what we've seen over the last couple of innings is that Gabara just has not been getting ahead like he did in that first. He was ahead of every single batter he saw, but then was playing catch-up from the second inning and now here in the third. The 2-0. Called strike on Todd Lott. Now 2 balls and a strike.
Well, this inning looked like it was going to have trouble written all over it. But getting that double play ball against Dylan Thomas is huge. And if Guevara can get out of this unscathed, it's a big boost for the Cubans.
2-1 misses way outside for ball 3. Jabari Henry awaits on deck. He struck out swinging back in the second inning. 2-0 Kane County here in the top half of inning number 3. (3-1). Tapper, third base side. Sanchez charges, has the waist side bounce, throws across to end the top of the third. Couple of men reach, one is left stranded. We now go to the bottom half of the third inning. 2-0 Cougars. Back underneath the sunshine here from Estadio Alfredo Harp Helu. A gorgeous Friday afternoon for baseball here in the heart of Mexico City. It's the 2026 Baseball Champions League. We 8-9-1 due up for the Crocodiles. Luis Sanchez, Luis Mateo. In the top of the order, Yulieski Ramon due up against Brandon Comar. Had to work around a single back in the bottom of the second inning, but has looked very sharp so far today. We're holding things up. Looks like something is on the field of play at the moment by the first base dugout. And we're ready to go. First pitch on the way from Comar. Takes inside to start things off 1-0. Well, Colin, this is where we're hoping to see for Comar, if you're George Samus, is that you want him to get through 3 innings of clean-slated baseball. And does it feel like every inning you get after that is a bonus inning, or are you kind of thinking that he's going into the 4th inning kind of no matter what?
I would think bonus inning's the right way to look at it. This is a pretty deep bullpen that the Cougars brought to Mexico City. But with that being said, and we mentioned it at the top, they've used a lot of it. And we've seen guys coming out in a couple appearances. So as much as you can get out of Brandon Comar, I think you're going to take if you're George Samus and this Cougars team.
Only a couple of pitchers on this Cougars roster only having 1 appearance. We saw almost the whole Johnny Holstaff in the last couple of days against the Diablos, and then yesterday against the Brothers. But it's kind of the luxury of having a couple of starting pitchers who have the ability to go deep. A swing and a miss, wipeout slider, and the 3rd consecutive strikeout for Brandon Comar, a guy who comes into the season not with the overpowering strikeout stuff, but he's spinning that slider effectively so far this afternoon.
Man, you're telling me that is 3 straight put away with that slider just crossing so far to the outside, and he's got, look at that. Cuban players just looking silly, and 3 straight strikeouts now for Brandon Comar.
And he's hitting his spots on the corners as well. That is part of his success, is leaving stuff away from the middle of the plate, is what we saw from the Cubans yesterday. They just could not be able to hit their edges. Line drive and just past the reach of Sam Dexter into left. A 1-out single. It puts the top of the order up with a man on.
It's good contact here. Barreled it up right over the shortstop's head, and now with the lineup turning over, second time through now to see Brandon Comar. Maybe the Crocodiles can put something together.
We've seen Sam Dexter all over the place at shortstop, and that one just evaded the leather. So the top of the order, Yulieski Ramon with 1 out and a man on. First pitch swinging, skies it. Right center field has a slight bit of carry with the wind, but Max Murphy drifts and makes the catch for the 2nd out. Quick outs, that's been the recipe so far, and Comar has done well. That's the 32nd pitch of his afternoon so far.
Yeah, it's looking great. I mean, 23 strikes to 9 balls, and with as much as it's been chasing for this Crocodiles team as well, it's just getting very easy, it seems, for Brandon Comar to settle into a groove. It's the first time we've seen it from a Cougar starter.
So here's the first pitch to Esteban Terry, is a move over to first base before then. Standing in safely is Mateo. And he was leaning towards second. He just scampers back in, but it was close.
Got to keep him honest.
Well, we've seen this Cuban team elect to run. That's no different at the bottom of the order. First pitch swinging, cued off the end of the bat, and it rolls foul on the first base side. Kane County's lineup will go 5, 6, and 7 in the top half of the 4th. 2-0 in still in favor of the Cougars offense. A little bit of a later start here in game 1. We've been in the morning slates until today, the lone exception. The 0-1. Fastball misses up and away. Colin, you enjoy your extra maybe hour and a half or so of sleeping in?
I don't think anybody in this booth has got much complaints about getting a little bit of extra sleep. I mean, it's been an all-day affair for us. It's been amazing.
Thanks to the quick game yesterday between Dantos and the Crocodiles. 1-1. Pops him up. first base side. Foul ground. Todd Lott loses his cap near the dugout railing, but it's going to find the crowd anyways. Another close game, though, here in the early afternoon. We have some folks in attendance. Most of them are stadium staff enjoying the shade. Some of them are enjoying the sunshine. Camera crew, camera operators, snapping pictures for the WBSC. Of course, our shuttle drivers and the team liaisons enjoying a gorgeous Friday afternoon. Temperatures hovering right above 70, 71 degrees. The 1-2. Fastball taken northbound. The Cougars striking for a pair in the top of the second inning, and that lead still stands. A couple of hits as well.
Yeah, just being efficient with their hits. I mean, again, it's 2 runs, 2 hits so far. At one point against Chinese Taipei, it was 16 runs, 16 hits.
Move back to first, standing in safely again is Mateo. And Komar showing that move off effectively. It's quick. And especially with a team like the Cubans who run, and they run a lot, you haven't exactly had to been worried so much about the run game from any of these other teams except maybe Chinese Taipei, but we're seeing the Cubans be a lot more aggressive and knowing that their BCL life is on the line today. 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Brandon Komar does it again. Another devastating slider ends the third, and we are off to the fourth with Kane County ahead by 2. From the first pitch to the last out, Carbless is your game day companion. Smooth, bold flavor, in a ready-to-drink can, perfect for enjoying all the action from the stands. Crack one open and make the most of every inning, every play, and every moment at the ballpark with Carbless. Bold flavor in every sip. Rafael Perdomo back up on the mound for this Crocodiles ball club. We've seen him just once so far in the tournament, but it was 3 1/3 innings. Just gave up 1 hit against the Brothers. And he is in to stop what is a Kane County assault here in the top half of inning number 4. 2 runs already in. And a first pitch strike to Sam Dexter, the first batter he will face against the Kane County Cougars this afternoon.
Perdomo very effective with that outside cutter. The first thing he just threw to Sam Dexter.
Tries to double up, but that one runs off the outside for a ball.
Put away 4. The Chinese Taipei by the way of the K. And those 3 1/3 pitched.
Final after his RBI single at first. The 1-1. Low and outside. 2 balls and a strike now. Dexter struck out swinging to end the top half of the second inning. The top of the lineup card. Waiting on deck, Elvis Peralta. 2-1. Fastball missing north. And this is what we saw from this Crocodiles team yesterday. The relievers having difficulties stopping any sort of momentum. And it might continue here. A 3-1 pitch runs underneath Sam Dexter for ball 4. A quick walk, runners at first and second, and here comes Elvis Peralta in the top of the Kane County lineup.
Well, that might have been why they switched over to Perdomo to try to avoid the free passes. He hadn't had a walk in those 3 1/3, but unable to come back against Sam Dexter after being up 0-1.
This inning started out with a Jabari Henry lineout, but then 4 consecutive base runners since then. First pitch, Peralta takes a rip, comes up empty. It was a Max Murphy RBI single, a Juan Fernandez RBI double, followed up by a Claudio Final RBI single, and then the walk from Sam Dexter. The 0-1. Skies it to left. Slicing towards Terry, who's a couple of feet into the left center field alleyway, makes the catch, and the runners will retreat. 2 outs for Armand Upshaw.
That's a big out for Rafael Perdomo and the Crocodiles to just kind of take a collective deep breath as this Cougar run started. We've just seen so many big innings started, just like this one did for the Cougars, where it started to get contagious and everybody gets involved. So to kind of plug that up at the top of the order could be big for the Crocodiles.
Peralta just missed it. It was a good pitch to hit, but got a little cappy. First pitch to Upshaw. He takes outside. A strikeout and a walk his day so far, so 2 out of the 3 true outcomes. Good shot of our flags blowing above the center field batter's eye, drifting out towards right central. The 1-0. Slider. Just enough on the outside for a strike. Evens things up at 1. The 1-1. In tight for ball 2.
Upshaw's been very patient. Already a walk in this game. Just trying to force himself into a good count.
He was wiped out on a 4-6-3 double play that was hit by the man behind him, Dylan Thomas, his last time up. 2-1. Outside, ball 3. We'll see how aggressive Upshaw gets here. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, an open bag at third. And he gives it a ride, high and deep, out to left center. Terry picking up speed to the warning track. They look up, and it disappears over the wall. A 3-run home run off the bat of Armand Upshaw. Kane County now will lead 7-0.
Well, welcome to this BCL tournament, Armand Upshaw. The patient approach pays off. We were just talking about some of the power that he contains on that right side compared to the left. And the way the ball has been flying over that left field wall in this tournament, even at 392 and 101 off the bat, that was enough for Armand.
He got all of it. Gave it a good shot. And it just got enough to squeak out and disappear over the left center field fence. First home run of the tournament for Armand Upshaw, and his third, fourth, and fifth runs batted in. First pitch to Dylan Thomas, and he takes upstairs. Double barrel action in the Crocodiles bullpen. Thomas spits in the dirt for a ball, now 2-0. You're just waiting for one of these Cougars to get in on the bash. First home run of the ball game for either side. 2-0. Down low for ball 3. 2 runs in the top of the second, 5 across here in the top of the fourth, and this is what we've seen from this Cougars ball club, is the ability to keep playing add-on, and more add-on. And that's ball 4. Dylan Thomas draws a free pass. He's aboard. And the inning now will send its 9th man to the plate, Todd Lott.
So 5th walk of the tournament for Dylan Thomas. Just always finding ways to get aboard.
No one holding on Thomas, and he'll break for second. And he'll get there standing up, no contest.
That was easy.
Conversation between Perdomo and Thomas saying, I don't care if it's up 7-0. Tiebreakers are in effect when it comes to a possible scenario like we're talking about earlier, where you could have a 3-way tie at 3-1 at the end of everything. And takes outside for ball 2. And yeah, the frustration is one thing, but it's also only a 7-run lead, and it's early. It's not like up 15 or something where you start holding up the brakes. It's still anyone's game at this point, albeit Kane County's been in control so far in the first half. Todd Lott takes outside, but in reality, 7 runs is not that much to come back from, and we've seen that countless times in this tournament so far.
A lot of crooked numbers, including from this Crocodiles team. And you mentioned it with the tiebreakers. First one's win-loss. Second one is team's quality balance, which does include run differential in a way. So all of the runs that cross the plate for the Cougars do matter if that does become an eventual tiebreaker scenario. And we've worked it out that that could be the case.
It all comes down to Saturday if we were going to start talking about that. A 3-1 to Todd Lott. And Lott, he joins the bash, his second of the tournament, and it's in the Kane County bullpen and gone. 9-0 Cougars. Todd Lott with his second shot, RBIs 3 and 4, and he puts the nickel in the merry-go-round, and he's on his horse again.
108.5 miles per hour off the bat, 428 directly beelined into the Cougars bullpen. And this man, one of the most dangerous when he's able to flip his hips and get his hands extended. The launch angle, always so good from Todd Lott. Second home run of the tournament, and the Cougars putting up a big crooked number here in the 4th.
They bat around here in the top of the 4th inning, and we'll see a new pitcher come in from the right center field bullpen. The Crocodiles now trail by 9. We're proud to partner with Champ Pro for this year's Baseball Champions League Americas as the preferred supplier of the AAPB. Since 1986, Champ Pro has developed high-performing sporting goods in a mission to inspire people to be team players for life. Visit champprosports.com or follow at Champ Pro Sports on Instagram to learn more. Halfway through this one, bottom of inning number 5, Brandon Comar. He's in control so far this afternoon. First pitch taken low for ball 1 on Andy Perez, who was his first strikeout victim of what was back-to-back Ks to end the bottom of the second, which now Comar has 4 strikeouts after getting multiple Ks in the third. Cute foul to even things up.
It's been a long time since this Cuban team has pushed a run across. You have to go back to the 4th inning in that game last night. And since that 4th inning when they pushed a run across, they've only had 4 hits.
2 of them in as many innings. 1-1 taken low.
And only one of those being an extra base hit. So it's just been a real struggle at the plate for the Crocodiles.
And you can have one game where things just don't go your way, but that's it. Only one in a tournament like this. 2-1. Oh, things are looking ugly. A nasty slider gets a swing over the top from Perez. Now 2-2. And Comar's just doing it all. The fastball's been working in east to west, north to south, and then that slider has done a good job of keeping it out of reach. 2-2 tumbles away.
That's what he tried to go with there. He has already sat down Andres Perez with that slider, as well as several other of his compadres.
3-2. Busted bat back to Comar, and he'll take it himself to first base with a flip to Todd Lott after Perez starts to make his way back to the dugout.
It's almost like he heard you.
That's a simple little poke right back to the mound, and I mean, this has just been Comar's bread and butter so far. A lot of weak contact. I mean, it's amazing how well he's mixing up east to west and having the success he has so far. So here's a Hanielo Videx. First pitch, fouls it back.
And he's a rare person on this Cougars team that doesn't have any American Association experience. Just signed with the Cougars a couple of weeks ago. I mean, he's been in major league systems for the last few years.
But he'll get his chance to see what Kane County's about a little later on in the spring. But he's shown a great showing for his manager in that third base dugout.
Exactly that. You know, between George Samus, the manager, and David Holmberg, the pitching coach, you have to really like what you've seen from Brandon Comar and get excited about adding him to that rotation come the regular season for the American Association.
He's at 52 pitches. 36 of them have been strikes. 16 have been outside the zone. And how about number 37 for a strike? And that's strikeout number 5. Brandon Comar strutting around the mound. He's feeling his stuff today.
We're back to the bread and butter. That slider just going away, and he has just been able to get the Crocodiles to keep on biting on that. I mean, this is hands down the best performance we've seen, not just from a Cougar starter, from any starter in this BCL tournament.
Luis Sanchez steps in, grounds it foul down the third base side. I mean, when you're able to blank a team through 4 2/3 and allow just weak contact throughout the entire afternoon so far, that bullpen is feeling really good. There's just a couple of guys standing around enjoying the sunshine, but pretty much Comar is just on cruise control right now. The 0-1. Number backwards foul now ahead in the driver's seat. No balls and 2 strikes.
Chance to pick up his 6th strikeout of the game and get Luis Sanchez for the second time. Again, I mean, Comar is a guy in the minor league systems averaging close to 2 to 3 strikeouts. He's already sitting at 5 here through 5.
Kicks and deals a quick 0-2. It's pulled foul, so a little bit of a bag of tricks from Comar, speeding him up on the fastball inside. A little bit of a modified quick pitch on the windup. Commonality so far in this tournament that we've seen pitchers do, and Comar so far, no exception.
Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go back to that slider now here, Trevor, especially with pitches to play with.
The 0-2. He does indeed, and the bat is thrown just to make contact with it. So he'll hand the bat over.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that before.
Hand the bat over to Sanchez. Here, you might need this.
Let's see this. I mean, that's exactly what he did, Trevor. He threw the bat, made contact, the ball went foul, and the bat went right back to the mound.
That's when you know you have your opponent's number, is when they have to let go of the bat just to make some sort of contact. We'll rinse and repeat on 0-2 again. Fouled back, coming towards us, and over our heads in the VIP section above us.
Could hear it thud right on the roof.
You want your souvenir? Go get it. Now's your chance.
That's right.
Did that yesterday.
Maybe after the game. Oh, there we go.
We try the 0-2 once more. Buries it in the dirt.
We'll give Luis Sanchez credit. He's hanging in there and quite literally doing everything he can to hang in there.
This will be the 60th pitch of the afternoon for Komar. You're through 4 2/3 innings. The 1-2. On the ground, skimming towards second. Elvis Peralta has time and slings the rock across to first to end the inning. 5 complete, 9-0 Kane County. We step aside for the 6th. From the first pitch to the last out, Carbless is your game day companion. Smooth, bold flavor in a ready-to-drink can. Perfect for enjoying all the action from the stands. Crack one open and make the most of every inning, every play, and every moment at the ballpark with Carbless. Bold flavor in every sip. 9-0 in favor of Kane County. 4-5 and 6-2 up. Denny Leonardo back out to work for the Cougars after a tidy 6th inning, only allowing a base hit. The first pitch to Yasiel Gonzalez, and he'll wear a fastball right on the shoulder. That's the second time he's been hit in as many days.
Yeah, it's not fun at 93 miles an hour.
That was about the same exact spot he got hit yesterday as well.
Might have some battle scars.
Well, I can't say this with certainty. Chad, you're going to need to help me out with this, but if this stands, would this be the first ever shutout in a BACL game?
Yeah, we'll get fact-checked on that, but...
We absolutely had... There was a guarantee you had nothing about that last year. But yeah, the 2023 BCL that was played in Monterey at sea level, so you get a little bit of less elevation and chaos.
You would think that'd have to be the one. I mean, it was all high-scoring games in 2024. Or I should say 2025.
First pitch on the way to Jose Noronha. He takes ball one just above the strike zone. Now, there's still work to be done. You still got to get through the bottom of the 7th, and then as long as the lead stays put, obviously in the 8th and 9th, but you're looking at possible history being made here. The 1-0. Lines it down the first base side out of play. And that is what is so interesting about this tournament, is that we were going into this expecting high-scoring affairs, and we've gotten that so far, so it's not like we've been shy of that. But I think it's even more impressive when we go into these types of contests, like we saw even yesterday, for an example, of when pitching takes the reins of a ball game. So as we just heard, 2023, the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks, so American Association champions, beating a Cuban team 8-0. That was the first shutout.
So history just repeats itself, potentially.
It's possible. The 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Leonardo gets his second strikeout here in the bottom of the 7th inning, 1 away, and that will now bring up Andy Perez.
It's just, I mean, utter dominance on both ends so far. I mean, the pitching especially, 14 strikes to 4 balls from Leonardo since he's gotten in the game. They've only allowed 4 hits in total, have walked none. I mean, just limiting the mistakes.
We will see a pinch hitter now lifted for Andy Perez. It will be Andy Casame. He'll make his first appearance in this afternoon. And that was the championship game. It was the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks versus the Cuban team winning the inaugural Baseball Champions League. And that one runs in and catches Casame in the backside. Puts runners at first and second now with 1 gone. Bring up Videx.
Even more impressive to do it in a championship game at that. Just showed how dominant that Fargo team that was brought down in the inaugural BCL was.
Leonardo Los Tunas, last year the Cuban champions, putting up the most runs in a BCL game. It was 31 runs scored last season.
That's
32 hits.
And 31 runs. That's, I mean, there's football games that don't get that high.
Well, certainly in the Big Ten, especially in the middle of winter. When you get close to the postseason, especially, I feel like we kind of saw that a little bit this year in the postseason between, what was it, Ohio State and Indiana. New pinch hitter. Ariel Duque now will step in, and he'll take over for Videx.
Well, you got to try to do anything if you're this Cuban team, just getting new bats up there, new faces to try to spark something here in the bottom of the 7th.
The first time all day the Cubans have had multiple men on base against Kane County. A big rip to even the count up at 1.
Yeah, and the first time the Cougars have really made mistakes with a couple of hit by pitches. No walks yet, but both these men aboard because Laurando hit them.
It wasn't like it was deep in counts, you lose them. It was first pitches as well, so at least there's the efficiency side of they're getting on, and it's not taking you a couple of extra bullets to do it. With that being said, a couple of guys moving around in Kane County's bullpen, and it still could be a ball game. Even though Kane County is leading 9-0, all it takes is a couple of big innings from the Cubans, and they make their way back in. The 2-1. Skied, third base side, foul territory. Shading his eyes from the sun, Claudio Final has plenty of room to make the catch in the second out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, you'll take that if you're Laurando to get yourself back on track. Some weak contact to the left side and an easy play for Claudio Final.
And that would bring up Luis Sanchez, the 8-hitter, the third baseman for this Cuban ball club. Runner still aboard at first and second. Yasiel Gonzalez, who led off the inning with a hit by a pitch, and Andy Casame at first. The first pitch. Chops it on the ground at third. Charging in Final. Gloves it. Has time. Fires a strike. Does Todd Lott hold on to the bag? For the moment, Carlos Leon says he does. We'll hold things up just in case. But Kane County, they're going to run off the field, so no challenge, and that is how the inning comes to an end. Couple of men reach. They're left stranded. To the 8th we go. Kane County leads by 9.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing. Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference. Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West. Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
Derek Cherry now in for Kane County. First pitch to Adrian Perez, who pinch hits for Yasiel Gonzalez, is fouled off, I should say, for a strike. And Cherry, he is 3 outs away from helping the Cougars secure history for the second time in Baseball Champions League history, looking for the second ever shutout. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 92 on the outer outside corner. The right-hander from Baytown, Texas, just outside of Houston. The 0-2. Taken just off the lower outside corner. Another good quality pitch, but Perez able to hold up. After some time at the University of Houston, a former 2A player, then turned pitcher only, would finish up his collegiate career at McNeese State University, Lake Charles, Louisiana. The 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. 86-mile-an-hour changeup gets the string yanked on Perez. Strikeout number 1 for Derek Cherry. 2 more outs for the Cougars to secure history again.
Just picking up right where Denny Larandos left off. Another great pitch. Derek Cherry continuing his good start in this BCL tournament.
He pitched well against the Diablos. Now, couldn't get out of his inning of work. Had a little bit of not so much help from his defense behind him, but otherwise, he looked sharp in that first game, and now here he is against the Crocodiles. First pitch, 94 on the outer end for a strike. And that fastball can reach up to 97 miles an hour, but will usually sit between 94 to 96. But it's the changeup against left-handers that is absolutely diabolical. The 0-1. Cued off the end of the bat, first base side foul. Has a good slider to work off that he's been developing over the year. But a back-end bullpen arm for the Winnipeg Goldeyes. Now steps in here at 9-0 in favor of Kane County. As Brian Pena, and 0-2. Here it comes. 94, fastball outside, taken for a ball. Andy Kasame would await on deck after coming in to pinch hit for Andy Perez back in the 7th. The 1-2. Another foul ball, cued off the end of the bat and into the shin.
Still no hits in this BCL for Brian Pena. First time he's getting up today.
Cherry, a former Oakland baller in the Pioneer League, was also out at the elevation in Rocky Mountain. So he's used to pitching up in high elevations. So 7,000 feet is different. 1-2, fouled off of Juan Fernandez, and he takes another beating. Scooting his way around the home plate area behind the dish. And he's slow to get up, but that is right off the inside of the shin guard, and it did actually catch some plastic, but as we've noticed so far, it doesn't exactly matter if it hits any sort of protection. That is still one of the worst feelings that you could have as a catcher.
It looked like it maybe even caught a little bit of the inside of his knee, which definitely can make that hurt even more. Get looked at by our trainer, Scott Ellis.
I mean, it's a thankless and thankful job at the same time. And the pitchers who I've talked to over the years with the Goldeyes and across the rest of the American Association always do a good job of taking care of their catchers, whether it's getting them Gatorades at the hotel or taking care of them after bullpen sessions. I mean, they do so much work for their pitching staff over the course of the season. Like I said, catching bullpens prior to batting practice, sometimes having to leave batting practice early to go catch bullpens. I mean, it really is a grinding position, and you spend so much time on the defensive side that whatever you do offensively is a bonus, and we've seen that from Fernandez today with his RBI double.
He's looked good in this tournament so far.
1-2 again from Cherry. Swing and a miss. There's your bat toss. A nasty slider loses the handle of the twig. Back-to-back Ks for Derek Cherry. It's on that diabolical slider. 2 away now.
We have seen some interesting tricks with the bats today.
We've seen throwing the bat to hit a slider and throwing the bat whiffing on a slider.
We've seen a bat get sawed off vertically in half, horizontally in half. A little bit of everything.
And the Cougars have 26 outs and are looking for that 27th to make history. First pitch, swinging, fouled off. 0-1. It was the 2023 BCL Championship game. It was the American Association representative of the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks, winning an 8-0 shutout win against the Cuban representative to secure the first ever BCL Championship. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. And history is now a strike away. A 9-0 lead for the Kane County Cougars. And a strike away from making their path to Sunday even easier. The 0-2. And the dirt buries it for ball 1.
It's not a bad location, though, to try to get him to chase. We've been seeing the Crocodiles going after pitches out of the zone all day long.
A brilliant pitching performance for Kane County. Cherry has Kasame at 1-2. Here he comes home. Swing and a miss for strike 3. History made here inside of Estadio Alfredo Harp Helu. For just the second time in BCL history, a shutout has been thrown, and it's by the American Association representatives for the second time in BCL history. Derek Cherry strikes out the side, and Kane County wins 9-0 here on a gorgeous Friday afternoon. They are now just one win away from their path to Sunday being locked in. A 9-0 dominant performance. Starts with Brandon Comar, Denny Leonardo, and Derek Cherry to close the door.
Dominant is the correct word. I mean, you can see there it was really a pitching duel from the 5th to 9th inning, but that crooked number that the Cougars have been able to get all tournament long comes in the 4th with a couple of big flies and just consistent hitting. But the pitching is the story of this one. You mentioned Comar with 5 strikeouts in his 5 innings pitched, only 3 hits allowed. Denny Lorando, 3 strikeouts in 3 innings, and then Derek Cherry shutting the door in the 9th with 3 strikeouts of his own.
11 strikeouts in total by Kane County Cougars pitchings, and it is an absolute brilliant performance. And then offensively, the Cougars got it done. 2 runs in that top of the 2nd, and then the explosion in the top of the 4th. And with that loss, the Cuban champions of the Crocodiles, their 2026 BCL championship run will most likely come to an end. And here's your highlights. It starts with this RBI fielder's choice. Claudio Final is able to get the job done, bring home Todd Lott. And then it's Juan Fernandez poking the right center field gap, scoring Max Murphy, and getting Kane County their 3rd run. It doesn't end there, though. We keep things moving along. The next batter, Claudio Final. He gets an RBI single, and then it's the 3-run shot by Armand Upshaw to make it 7-0. You would think that the Cougars are done. No siree. They are not. This is a towering fly ball off the bat of Dylan Thomas that would eventually end an inning. But it'd be a 2-run home run by Todd Lott to make it 9-0. And then we saw the brilliance on the pitching side. Both sides were able to close the door of offense for their next few innings, and that is how we close up today's ball game. So that wraps us up here for game 1 of 2. Kane County 9-0 over the Crocodiles, and this is how we look ahead to game number 2. That'll start at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Central. The Diablos Rojos del Mexico, they take on the CTBC Brothers on the nightcap to wrap up day 4, and we are so close to putting an end to the week play, getting into the weekend, and Championship Sunday on the horizon. For Colin Rudisol, executive producer Chad Ekron, and the entire Diablos production crew, I'm Trevor Curl. This has been a production of the Baseball Champions League on AA Baseball TV. The final score, the Kane County Cougars 0, and the home side of the Crocodiles 0. We'll see you later on tonight between the Diablos and the Brothers.